Hello and welcome to 3-Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game is worth your time and bandwidth. Today's game is Offworld Trading Company, an RTS without the military combat but something more cutthroat. Corporate capitalism. Can you make the most money on Mars? Offworld Trading Company is a PC-only game that is available via Steam and Xbox Game Pass on PC. Should you want to buy the game, it is $30, though it does go on sale fairly often. It's a pretty old game. And in terms of game time, it takes about 7 to 9 hours to complete each campaign, but is the kind of game that you can keep replaying. So what exactly is Offworld Trading Company? Well, it's a real-time strategy game without the war, but rather attempting to hostile take over every other company on Mars with your mad money-making skills. Mars is open for business, and you and a handful of other corporations are trying to exploit it as fast as possible to become the actual monopoly man. Offworld Trading Company's core loop is deceptively simple. There are over a dozen resources that can be either mined, harvested, or produced by your company, but in reality you'll only be able to focus on a few because of the first 4 mechanic, land deeds. You are granted only a limited number of squares you can exploit at the start, and competition is fierce. You'll need to gather not only resources, but power your factories, feed your people, and make sure they can, breathe. Thankfully, you can buy what you need automatically off the market, although this will affect pricing. You can also go horribly into debt with little to no repercussions, minus the ability to use powers. And as they say, you have to spend money to make money because debt is a necessity, as it's not possible to produce everything you need at any given time. No, your main goal is to outproduce and outtech your opponents in specific areas. As you mine resources, you can then convert them to more valuable ones, and as you upgrade your base, you'll get more land deeds, or you can buy them from colonies to make more decisions. And that's where things start getting wild. Want to try and invest in a colony to make some side cash? Or maybe build a hacker complex to manipulate the markets? Maybe you'll hire pirates to shoot down your fellow corporation's supply lines. While you aren't building things like tanks or nukes, the game is brutally cutthroat regardless. Once you tech high enough, you'll have the option to build a rocket to sell off world, which leads to the biggest possible price margins you can fathom. As you and your opponents gain wealth, their stock prices increase, but outpace them, you can start buying shares of their company. If any corporation owns at least half of their own stocks, however, they have to be bought out entirely, all at once and at a premium. But they'll have to do the same for you, providing a little bit of insurance. Buying out other corporations is how you eventually win, meaning you'll need to get rich fast. And that's ultimately the game. Though there's certainly much more to being a business Mongol on Mars, the basic idea is to capture prime real estate, outtech or sabotage your opponents, and then buy them out like Microsoft is going to buy out Activision. So what do I like about Offworld Trading Company? Well, I love the concept. It's really unique. The idea of a strategy game focusing more around an economic victory via resource management, technology, and hostile takeovers is really cool. Additionally, this is a really fun game in multiplayer with other people, especially friends. Nothing pisses someone off like buying them out in the 11th hour. And lastly, this game has a fantastic tutorial that leans into the easy to learn, hard to master aspect of the game. When it comes to the bad, paths to victory can end up feeling repetitive should you aim for a singular goal. As often, the best way to win is to identify which off-world production sells for the most, produce that, and tech as quickly as you can to rockets. Additionally, the game's AI is either complete pushover or absolutely brutal, meaning the best way to actually play the game is with friends or real humans. And lastly, the lack of a real campaign mode does bug me. I'm glad they have something, but it really is just a string of quick play maps. Something that built off of itself would have been much more engaging. As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale: must play, maybe consider, don't bother. I think Offworld Trading Company is definitely a maybe consider. It's a very cool idea that stumbles a bit in its actual execution, but it's still loads of fun in both its challenge mode and against other people. While it's easy to fall into the trap of optimal pathing a lot of these scenarios, the core game here is fun enough that you'll have a great time regardless. If winning economic victories in your 4X games is how you play, Offworld Trading Company is the game for you. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you played Offworld Trading Company, what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments, but regardless, go out there and get rich on Mars.